morning, Berkshire students, staff, and families. This is Mr. Clinkscale with your Berkshire News Break for Thursday, October 22nd. So we're off again to a little bit of a rainy start today. However, we're hoping for clearer skies this afternoon and a high in the upper 50s. So for our athletes out there wrapping up their season for the fall, hopefully we will have athletics today, but if anything changes, as always, we will contact you via Remind. So pay attention to that. I also want to thank our families yesterday that joined us for the Berkshire PTA meeting and our Board of Education candidates that are running for election that gave a chance during that forum to allow them to talk about their platform and what they are running for. So that was very interesting hearing from all of the candidates. And again, I'd like to always thank our PTA board for all of the support, whether it's helping with grants to support teaching and learning here at Berkshire, or just the many things that they do to help, again, support our school overall. We're really grateful, so thank you for that time. Also, to our families, again, remember that we did put out a survey, and I know that there was an announcement about a Board of Education meeting that would be taking place actually today. So stay tuned. There could be more news that may change at least the date of that survey, or giving people an opportunity to change their decision. So until that meeting takes place, I really can't give any more information, but as soon as we know, we'll certainly be communicating more with you. So at this time, we do have a very important announcement coming up from Mr. Babcock. We also have an announcement with our joke of the day from our BMS News team of students. So stay tuned, and for all of you, have a wonderful day, because after Mr. Babcock gives his character quote of the day, we'll be signing off. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you this time tomorrow. Thank you.
Hello, Berkshire students. I'm Carmen Smith from the BMS News, and today we're doing Joke of the Day. And the joke of the day is, when you find something, why is it always the last place you look? Any guesses? No? Okay, I'll tell you. The answer is, because when you find it, you stop looking. Get it?
Hey everybody, it's Mr. Babcock here with your third character quote for this year's announcements. If you haven't been able to see the first two, I want to catch you up to speed real quick. So try to build these ideas upon each other to give our students a clear line of thinking to help them move towards success. The first one was from Kanye West, where he said, "The mirror is where I see my only enemy." Our message behind that one was take the time to reflect upon ourselves, to grab the thing, realize what's working, grab those, add them to our toolbox, and realize the things that aren't working. Try and discard those. Try and get away from them, and let's replace them with more things that will work. And really the message there was about making adjustments in life, first reflecting and then adjusting upon those reflections. The second quote was from Horace Mann, who stated, "Habit is a cable. Each day we weave a new thread until at last we cannot break it." The message behind that is for students to simply realize habits are real, and they are powerful. And we want to realize that. We want to try and harness the ones that are helping us get to where we want to be, and add those, support them, keep on hitting those. And we want to try and unravel the ones that aren't helping us. And we really want to be trying to fill the void of negative habits with some good ones. Not focus on the past, but focus on developing a new present. The one for today follows along similar lines, and it's from Vince Lombardi. Vince Lombardi is the guy getting carried off the field in the back. He's a legendary football coach from the Green Bay Packers. The Super Bowl trophy, which I have for you over here, is named after him. It's the Lombardi Trophy. And then I threw Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs up there, who won last year's Super Bowl. Now, I want to talk about this quote for a couple reasons. Let's first talk about what he said. Well, winning is a habit. Unfortunately, so is losing. I love that quote. I think it's very easy to understand when you're talking about sports. And let me just walk you through it real quickly. I think everyone's been on a team that has success. And when you have wins, man, it's easier to show up to practice. You want to get there earlier. You want to stay later. You want to try harder. You're happier with your teammates, so you communicate better. It just seems to get better and better the more you win. It's because it's a habit. It's because it reinforces doing the little things that help you be successful. The other side of that quote is true as well, which unfortunately so is losing. Losing can become a bad habit. And now I know all of you have probably been on bad teams where losses start to add up. Maybe you start off the season with a couple losses, or you have a string of losses in a week. man, does that become a habit. It becomes hard to go to practice. It becomes hard to work hard. You get angry with your teammates and your coach. You want to leave early. You don't want to show up. Becomes a habit. Becomes a problem. Now, I think everybody understands that when you talk about sports. However, I want you to think about that same idea for life and for school. Winning is a habit in school. And that's what we've been talking about with the quote so far, trying to give you winning habits, reflecting on yourself, making adjustments, harnessing the power of habits. Those are winning habits. Those are things we're trying to do that we know will help you be more successful. The other side of it's true for school too. When you don't have success and you don't do the little things and that lack of success happens, it's hard to start doing the little things. Because why? If you're not having success, why try? And that builds on itself. And yeah, that's a losing mentality, but that's the truth. That's what a lot of people find themselves in. Now, that is true that applies for school, but the point of the message is really to connect more with where we're at right now with school. We always fight the second half of that quote with school being middle school educators. We always get the argument that middle school doesn't matter. You know what? These grades don't follow me. No one's going to look at these grades in high school. No college admissions officer is going to ask for my middle school grades. We get that all the time. The big fear and why I wanted to talk about this today is that we understand that it's easier and easier in a virtual environment for kids to feel that way, to get disconnected with what's happening in class, to not try, to just kind of fold. And what I want to make sure is that we address that right now. I want every kid to realize that this does matter. Believe it or not, what you do day in and day out does matter. And I want to give you an analogy to make that clear. I want you to think about middle school like it's the preseason for an NFL football season. It's very similar. Yes, the wins and the losses don't matter in preseason football, just like your grades really don't matter in the long run in middle school. However, everything matters in the preseason for what a team does. It's the way you work. It's how hard you work. It's the practice you put in. It's how well you learn your playbook. It's how well you bond with your teammates. It's how much you prepare for games. The preseason is where teams get ready to have their success. Now, the same thing is true with middle school for high school. This is your training ground. You have 3 years to get ready for game time. High school is the regular season. That's when the lights come on. That's when everything's big and important and matters. And everything sticks with you. Think about it in that manner. You have 3 years if you're a 6th grader, 2 if you're a 7th grader, and you're running out of time if you're an 8th grader to get all the practice you need to get in. If you think about this middle school setting as your preseason or your practice, you've got that much time left to be ready so that when you step onto whatever high school you're going to step onto, whether it's virtually or in person, that you have the habits, you have your bag of tricks, you know what works for you, and you're ready to rock because you dominated middle school, because you realize that middle school is your chance to prepare yourself for success at high school. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for you and everyone to realize those things and go out and get it. Now, I want to leave you with one more thought and an idea for how to be successful. Now, every time I've given a similar speech to kids in the past about this is your training ground, like let's go, get ready for high school. High school is when it counts. That's when it always matters. I always get the kids that are like, Mr. B, man, I'll tell you what, when I get up to high school, I'll start studying, I'll start taking notes, I'll do everything. You'll see. I'll come back, I'll say what's up, and you'll see. I'll be in a better spot. Now, what I always like to point out to kids as I talk about this message is that I'm yet in my career to have an experience where one of these kids comes back, says what's up, gives some love, talks for a little bit. I've never had one of them actually say that they flipped the switch. They've never had success. They're still looking for it. They're still waiting to flip that switch. Usually they're embarrassed to talk to me about it, but it's always been true. I don't want you to fall into that trap that so many middle school students fall into, which is, you know what, I'll flip that switch down the road. I'll take care of it when it comes. The kings and queens of procrastination seem to be middle school students. We need to get over that. We need to start taking ownership, and we need to start making adjustments now, which takes me to that quote. If you look in the puddle, I love this one. It's from Karen Lamb. To be honest, I don't know who that is, but I like her quote. She said, "A year from now, you will wish you started today. Realize that tomorrow is coming. Next year is coming, and the year after that's coming, and the year after that, and that you will be there." And yes, if you make those adjustments right now, if you actually promise yourself and you start to make an adjustment, yeah, a year from now, you're going to look back and be like, that's what's up, and be so happy you did. And if you don't, and you keep having losing habits, I guarantee you, eventually one day you're going to wake up and you're going to look back and go, man, I wish I would have started back then. Don't let yourself be that person that has those regrets. My father always told me the last thing you want in life is regrets. I've tried to live my life that way, and it's proven to be true. Let's learn from that and make some adjustments, and let's go get it. I want you to look in the upper left. I want to leave you with an idea about how to be more successful. It's called SLANT. This is an easy one. And yes, going again back to the fact that I know it's hard to pay attention, and this online learning is not fun. So here we go. Here's an easy way for all my people out there that struggle to pay attention. These are all easy peasy and something you can do, no problem. It's an acronym. The S stands for sit up. Get your head up off the desk that I see so many of you doing in Zoom. Get up out of that bed. Sit up in your chair and let's go. The L is for lean forward. You take the S and the L together, sitting up and leaning forward, you're putting yourself in a physical position to where it's ideal for paying attention. It's hard to not pay attention when you're sitting up and leaning forward into something that is engaging you. I promise you that. So that's the S again is sit up. L is lean forward. A is ask questions. That's a big one. I guarantee you that none of you can win an argument against me that if you say that you cannot pay attention and ask questions at the same time. I think I'd win that argument immediately. So A, ask questions. Again, really hard to pay attention when you're asking questions. And then the last one, the N and the T come together. That is note take, which was how I focused and how I held myself accountable to pay attention when I was in school. Again, just like asking questions, it's really hard to not pay attention if you're taking good notes. Hopefully, everyone can take those messages, realize the good that's in them and what we're trying to pull off here. We really want to start making sure that everyone gets the messages that they need, those good character thoughts, those messages that are going to help everyone get to where they want to be and set themselves up for success. Just like always, if you need anything, you're struggling with anything, you just need somebody to talk to, reach out to us in the office. We're always waiting. We're looking to help you out. We just want to make sure everyone's happy and supported. Everybody out there in Berkshire land, let's go get it. Let's have a great day. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.